15 things I wish I knew when I first got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Hey, my name is Seamus, and I am not a doctor, a nutritionist, or a diabetes expert in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm just a dude with diabetes. Got diagnosed July 31st, 2023. Before changing anything with your diet or with your medication or anything like that, any advice that you hear on this podcast or any other podcast, please talk to your medical team first. 15 things that I wish I knew when I got type 2 diabetes. Now, I was diagnosed on July 31st, 2023, had an A1C of 11.1, and my blood sugar was 474. What? Yeah, it was crazy. And the frustrating part for the first almost 12 months was learning different things, trying different things. And these are just kind of 15 things that I wish I knew day one that could have put me on the right path faster. By the way, I'm about 18 months into it and don't have any medication anymore. And my A1C is about 5.4, probably a little bit lower than that. So it worked for me anyway. Number one thing that I wish I knew was that it's not a death sentence. It is very important. It's something that you need to take very, very seriously, right? But it's not necessarily a death sentence, especially type 2 diabetes, which for the most part is self-induced, right? You're not eating enough, you're not exercising enough. So it's not a death sentence. It can lead to death, certainly, but it's not a death sentence. It's not over at diagnosis. At least that's how I took it. Number two, it's your fault, probably. So when you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, if you have type 1, that's a autoimmune disease. That is your pancreas not creating enough insulin. That's totally different. But type 2 diabetes is usually a lifestyle issue, meaning you've had pre-diabetes, you didn't make any of the changes, you didn't start working out, you didn't start eating right. And so the good news is, though, that anything that is your fault, you can also fix. So even though it's your fault, that means that you can fix it because you can change the behaviors, right? I always looked at it as a positive thing. Number three, no quick fixes. They are not quick fixes. There's nothing you can do. If you see any videos that say you can reverse diabetes in 2 weeks, don't watch it because it's absolutely not true. There's no quick fixes. There are things you can do day one that will help you day 90. And there are lifestyle changes, and you can start exercising, whether it's 3 days a week and then moves into 5 days a week. There's habits you can form, but there are no quick fixes. Number four, nobody cares as much as you do. Your family will be concerned, of course. Your medical team will be concerned, but nobody's going to truly care about your diagnosis and your health and how it's going as much as you do, because you are going to have the greatest impact from this, right? It's going to affect you the most. So nobody's going to come in and go, listen, I love you so much, we're going to do everything we can. It's still an internal thing. You got to do it yourself. Number five, start moving. Now, I knew that diet and exercise would probably, that we learned that pretty quick in your diagnosis, that diet and exercise is going to help you out with your type 2 diabetes. But I had no idea how much moving would affect it and how much not moving makes such a difference. And I'm talking about just even walking 20 minutes after every single meal will make a huge impact in your blood sugar for that day. And then obviously down the road. So start moving day one, go for a walk and really start analyzing what you're going to do. Number six is, this should be the number one. This is the most important thing that I did. And the most important thing that you can do is get a CGM. CGM stands for constant glucose monitor. It keeps track of your blood sugar all the time. I wear one all the time. I don't have to be wearing one right now because I have everything under control pretty much. But I couldn't live without one. It shows your blood sugar readings at all times. Most important thing you can do, get a CGM. It doesn't, you just snap it on your arm and use it all the time. Number seven, set a goal. And I think that this might be myself more than a lot of other people, but I have to have a goal. I have to have a stick out there to achieve. Like when I said, after 90 days, I wanted to have my A1C below 9, from 11.1 to below 9, right? That was my goal. I got it down, went from 11.1 to 6.4. So I beat my goal, but I always have these goals set out there, and getting off the medication, all that kind of stuff. I think setting a goal, you really don't know what you're working towards if you don't have a goal. Number 8, tell everyone. This is a tough one for people. It needs to become part of your life. Type 2 diabetes needs to be part of who you are, and it's okay, right? But you need to tell everyone. There's a lot of people with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes that are hiding and hope it goes away so they don't ever have to tell anyone. I did not do that. I told absolutely everyone because I knew it was going to be part of me for the rest of my life, and it is. Pick a side. This one's controversial. With food, I believe you have to pick a side. I chose to go whole food, plant-based, low fat. That was the perfect thing for me to do. I was already a vegetarian, so the best thing for me to do was to go to that side. Some people will go to the other side, which is low carb, high fat. I think if you can pick a side, especially at first, you can land in the middle of something that's sustainable for the rest of your life. But when it comes to diets, pick a side. Number 10, related, no diets, meal plans. I hate calling it diets, but it's hard not to. Meal plans, a diet is something that you do for a short period of time in order to get a short-term goal. A meal plan is something that you can eat for the rest of your life. And once you get that meal plan set up and be like, okay, so here's my 90% of what I eat on a weekly basis, right? Once you keep doing that, once you get that locked in, the 10% you can have fun with, but that 90% is the most important. 11, cheat, but get back fast. Now, you're going to fall off the wagon, hopefully not too much. I mean, I really got strict when I got diagnosed. I haven't had a French fry. I haven't had a potato chip. I haven't had a donut. I haven't had a piece of pie. I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff, right? But you might fall off. And if you fall off for one meal, right, just get back as fast as you can. Because if you fall off and then you like on Friday night, right? You're like, I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of pizza and breadsticks and candy or whatever, right? Which is horrible. Don't do that. But if you do that on Friday, don't carry it over till Sunday. Don't be like, I'm gonna get back on it Monday. Get back on it, right? Think cheat meal, not cheat meals or weekends. Number 12, be smarter than your doctors. This kind of goes back to nobody cares as much as you do, but being smart, your doctors, unless you're talking to a diabetic endocrinologist and that's all they study, they have a million other things going on with other patients and they're trying to give you the best advice possible. And they probably are looking at you and going, hey, we're going to throw this person on, say, metformin, right? And then they're not going to make any changes, but hopefully we can extend their life, right? Be smarter than that. Do your research. I went into every doctor's meeting, and I still do, with a whole bunch of research and questions and answers. And I'm looking for confirmation, right? So be smarter than your doctors. Number 13, be selfish. So in order to reverse diabetes the right way, you're going to have to exercise more. That's going to take time away from your family and maybe even work, right? Where you're like, hey, I do that extra hour work. Well, you might have to be exercising. And when your family wants to go out for pizza and you can only eat a salad and they're like, oh man, you can't have any pizza or whatever your meal plan is, it's okay. You need to be selfish a little bit and take the time and things that you need to do to be successful in reversing your type 2 diabetes, right? So being a little selfish at first is like, oh man, I got to go. It's okay. Everyone wants you to live, right? Number 14, make big changes and make them stick. So when you commit to making a big change, like when I decided I was going to follow mastering diabetes, I was going to go whole food, plant-based, low fat. Like that was a big change for me. And I was like, I am determined to make this stick. Like this is going to become part of who I am. So when you decide to make a big change, or I'm going to add in a workout every day at lunch. So every day at lunch from 11:45 until 1 o'clock, I'm not going to be at the office, right? Make a big change and make it stick. Number 15, the last one. You're not alone. 1 in 10 people in America have diabetes, most of them being type 2 diabetes. 2 out of 10 people, they say, on new estimates are pre-diabetic already, and most people are undiagnosed, right? So you're not alone. And when you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you're going to find real quick lots of people around you, even in your circles that you didn't know, that are dealing with diabetes, right? So you're not alone. There's lots of people out there just like you. And I think that's a good thing to know. Not that we want everyone to have diabetes, but you're not just some weirdo that had something happen to them. You're just part of the diabetic society now. So good luck. I hope your A1C is down. I hope you have an awesome day.